What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. Hopefully you're doing well. What caught my attention today straight away was this resistance forming right here. And you can see we retested the resistance, a few hours later. But you can see there is multiple tops forming across this resistance, and we made one big leg down. We reversed and we made one big leg up. So from the market perspective, this move almost didn't happen. We completely neutralized this move and we are back to square one. So what does this mean for us exactly? Well, this means that we are still going to be looking to go short, because this move almost didn't happen. And look at how many people went short here. There was a lot of bearish momentum, a lot of bears were jumping in the market and trying to sell, and a lot of bulls were selling back their orders. And once we reverse on them and we stop once again at the resistance. So even though we have this big trend channel working higher, the fact that we bounce again from the resistance is telling us that we have to take it into consideration that we might be selling off, because normally we would be looking for a break and a new high, at the break of a new extreme. That's the rule of the trend line. But since this move was neutralized and almost didn't happen, we're back to square one. We are still expecting, we are anticipating more sellers just like here to come into the market, and this is pretty much what happened. Overall, the day was once again very undecisive day, nothing really much, no clear trend happening. But let me talk about the beginning of today, because we were working higher, and so our first thought is to be looking for a break and a new high, and this is what happened. We have a trend line working low right here. But notice, we are not getting much lower and we are not getting much higher. Again, we made a one leg up, first entry, pullback, second entry. It didn't tick higher for us to take the failed second entry short. That's according to rules, but it didn't tick higher. And at this point, we can start seeing that we are heading into some trading range, because we are not trading lower and we are not trading higher. So we're just chopping alongside of this EMA. And once again, we have a new low right here, pullback, first entry, pullback, second entry. But right now you're directly into no man's land, and you can see that now we really don't know what's gonna happen. We really don't know whether we should go long or we should go short, and a lot of traders don't know what's happened. That's basically the theme for the day. A lot of traders didn't know exactly what was gonna happen, and the volatility has slowed down a lot. A lot of people are sitting on their hands waiting what the market is going to do. So days like this can actually be quite troublesome for a lot of traders. But you can see that this is a no man's land, and at this point, nobody really knows what's gonna happen. You can see we're working up and down through the EMA. We are in the trading range. We bounce from the support forming right here, but there is not such a good setup to go long. And we bounce from the resistance, but I don't think you want to go short either, because once again, we may have break and a retest of this trend line working higher, but at the same time, like I was talking about the resistance previously, really there's a lot of options that can happen. So you just have to be patient and sit through this mess. A lot of people will get chopped into this, and you can see there is no clear trend, so this is clearly a trading range. So the first setup that, according to our rules, that I saw today was actually this, you can say, double top, breakout, pullback pattern. We broke through the trading range, we pulled back instantly higher. And the reason why I wasn't buying this is because now this is starting to look more bearish, and now I'm really feeling shorting this market. So this is why this two-legged pullback to the support that now acts as a resistance, this bar was the bar that we should have entered. I marked it, but you can see that the bar is very big, and you know me, I trade limit orders on every single trade almost, so I always try to sneak in early to get as much of a profit as I can and risk as little as possible. But this is too big of a bar, and a lot of you probably, if you see such a big bar like this, you have to take into consideration our money management system, and you really have to watch this go without you. So, but if the bar was a little bit shorter, this is the trade to take today, because this is a double top and we retested the resistance twice now. We made a leg lower, and once again, let me show you this. Once again, this is, I can already eyeball this, that this is going to be valid. Once again, we bounce at the 50% line. The 6180 and 50% line, very high probability bounces. If you have one big leg up, I was really talking about this. Was it yesterday? Can't even remember. Was it yesterday? I mean, the day before yesterday. Yeah, it was the day before yesterday. My last video that was. You can see the same thing. The 50% retracement works. And I actually talked to a trader, and he told me that he doesn't use the Fibonacci, but he always divides the highs and the lows, and he makes the line between, so he divides it into two trading ranges, and he will a lot of times he will be looking for the bounces of here. So you can see that you could have used the strategy as well, but we made a new low, and once again, prices spike through the EMA, so this should have alerted us. Once we make 2 legs above the EMA, you know, the downtrend is not that strong at this point. We are now reversing, we are spiking through the EMA. EMA is not putting much of a resistance, and this is a reversal pattern. Normally, once you have a break and a new low and these 2 legs, and the EMA is holding, this is a sign of a reversal pattern. You don't want to take this because this is the first entry and this just set up the trend line. You can see the trend line, you can find the trend line from the other side. Just like I told you, that's the tip. Here's some useful tip, but this is just the first entry. But once we make a break, new low, nice bullish reversal bar, and it is a second entry, and you know, second entry off the trend line and off the EMA, it's according to our rules and very high probability setup. So this was definitely a good trade to take. And at this point the trend line is holding, and I even took this trade even though the signal bar is not good. Just to make you clear, because we first broke lower and then we traded up higher. So this is not a failed second entry long, because we first broke lower, traded up higher, and then we closed in the middle and went higher from there. So we have a break, new low, and is a second entry, 2-legged pullback, market moves into our trend line, and the EMA is holding once again, and we are back into this range now. We are back into this. So this was a good scalp, but once again, no really big trend happened from here. Once again, market very undecisive. You know, a lot of traders don't know what's gonna happen. Everybody's sitting on the sidelines now. Volatility is very slow. And on the days like this, when the volatility is very slow, I actually might go for 8 ticks. I normally go for 10 ticks because ES has been last few years, ES has been very volatile. But if the volatility slows down a lot, I might go for 8 ticks instead of 10. But you know, I still like to get the 10 because I like to make, I like to have, you know, 1-to-1 ratio at least, if not better, to have, you know, more of my profits than my losses, because you will get much more comfortable manually. But notice how prices spike through EMA. This is complete ignorance of the EMA. We completely ignore the EMA like it's not even there. And big move up, big move down, excuse me. And then we have a 2-legged pullback, we have a break and a new high of this bullish correction working higher, and 2-legged pullback at the EMA. Quite a small bearish bar, and the support is now acting as a resistance again. So you kind of have to be switching the gears left and right here, because you can see one time it acts as a support, then it acts as a resistance, then it acts as a support and a resistance again. So you have to be able to adjust, and you have to be able to switch the gears. And then prices went into this consolidation, and you know, there is really no setup. It looks tempting to go short here or here, but at the same time it looks very tempting to go long here or here, but you really want to stay away from this, because once again, like I told you, every time you are tempted to go long or short, you're most likely going to get trapped, because this is looking very nicely like it's going to go lower, like you should sell this. But once this failed, this is looking very nicely like you should go long, but it fell again, and this is just failures all across. And every time it seems like there's more than one possibility, you are, because a lot of times you're just feeling, you know, it's only going to go one way. But here it was actually very tempting to go both ways. So you have to wait, you have to sit on your hands. Like, put your hands under your butt, let them there, and don't touch the mouse, because once you trigger this, you will get chopped to pieces. You have to be patient and you have to follow the rules. But yeah, this was the major tell. This was a major resistance, and once again, this move almost didn't happen, because normally, you know, from market's perspective, it's like this move was completely resetted. You completely reset this move, and this is just down up bar on a bigger time frame, one big bar down and one big bar up. So this didn't happen. So this is why at this point I was really focusing on shorting this, and I was kind of not looking much for a new high, even though I still kept that back in the back of my mind. But this was the major pattern for the day. This was the major key of information that we got today about the prices and about the traders, what they're going to do. As far as the easiest setups, I feel like this was the gravy, and this was the easy setup too at this point. The trend started forming here fairly nicely, but yeah, once again it went into this small little choppy consolidation, and we broke higher, and now we're trying to get back into this congestion. But once again, another uneventful day, another day. Yesterday was fairly, yesterday the volatility picked up, but once again, very trending range like, and the lows aren't as clear yesterday, and the highs were actually fairly clear, but we eventually broke higher. And once again, this is the Wednesday where once again this worked. So if you are using Fibonacci, because a lot of traders that I talk to, they actually use it, you can be expecting some bounces here, just like today when you see this pattern, because there's definitely something to this. Yeah, so I'm gonna wrap it up. Hopefully you guys are gonna have a good weekend. We are still in a lockdown. I need to get my hair cut. All the barbershops are closed. All the shops are closed as well. You can't even buy anything. No clothes, no nothing. So, and we have to. You can't even go to grocery store. There's only like 5 people that are allowed to go to the store, and there's a huge queue before the store, so in front of the store. So it's very crazy times, and we have to be locked up like some animals in cages. Not funny, but this is a great time to be a trader and practicing, study your chart. So don't be lazy, and during your weekend get back to work and study the chart, so you can be financially free. Bye guys.